What a crazy 12 hours. It's not even been 12 hours. I guess just about now it's been 12 hours. And the face of professional wrestling is a lot different than it was Friday night at the end of SmackDown. And it has nothing to do with the WWE. Tony Khan promised the biggest announcement in wrestling history. And when it was all said and done, it was. It was the biggest announcement in professional wrestling history. It was probably the biggest event, easily, of the last 2 decades. Maybe take out Brock Lesnar beating The Undertaker at WrestleMania and ending the streak. Outside of that, I cannot think of a single event that changed the face of professional wrestling like last night did, when none other than CM Punk returned to the squared circle, and CM Punk is now all elite. Tony Khan has done it. Let's see. I would love to see what the ratings come in at, and really see where AEW goes from here. But if last night was any indication, this is the biggest talk of the weekend. There is absolutely nothing that can happen at SummerSlam to overshadow the fact that CM Punk is back. He came out to Cult of Personality. The United Center was absolutely nuts. They blew the roof off the people, or off the people blew the roof off the stadium. It was so awesome. If you haven't seen it, check out our review video, but the audio, I can't have the audio coming through. So better yet, go to AEW's website or YouTube channel. Check it out for yourself. You'll see, just talking about it, I'm getting goosebumps. It's absolutely fantastic. Um, the entrance took almost a full 5 minutes of the show. Grown men, grown men around the world, but specifically in the United Center, were crying last night. And I'm sure around the world, there was a lot of my emotions were running very, very high with the return of CM Punk. It has been 7 long years since we've seen the Second City Savior in a wrestling ring, and he was very humble. He sat down, kneeled down on the ramp for a minute, took it all in, which rightfully so. Jumped into the crowd, which was a fantastic moment. This was, I said it last night during the reaction video, this was to professional wrestling what Luke Skywalker's return in The Mandalorian was to Star Wars fans. Around the world, I'm sure there were grown men who were absolutely crying at the fact that this man is back in professional wrestling. He takes his time, gets into the ring, jumps into the crowd, hugs a lot of fans, a lot of family members and friends who were at ringside, makes his way into the ring without a scripted promo. And it was absolutely amazing. The first thing he does is he puts over the talent. He puts over the entire AEW roster and challenges Darby Allin to a match at All Out, at AEW's next pay-per-view, All Out, which I cannot wait to see this pay-per-view. Darby Allin and CM Punk should tear the roof off, and it's going to be in Chicago, so I know they will. He later goes on to talk about how the last time he was in a professional wrestling ring was in 2005 in August, when he left Ring of Honor. He left Ring of Honor in a better spot, as he said, as it was a place where people could come hone their craft. He said he did apologize to the fans, and he was understandable about any ill will or hurt or emotions that the fans have felt over the past 7 years with his absence. But in order for him to get better physically and mentally and not be sick, he had to leave the place that made him sick. That place he was referring to, of course, was the WWE. CM Punk returning to professional wrestling is what's best for business. We are in a new era. a new era of professional wrestling. We'll see when the ratings come in. If the ratings aren't through the roof with AEW Rampage last night, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe all this is not as big of a deal as it seems at the moment. But last night I was very caught up into it. This morning, very caught up into it. And CM Punk is all elite, and it's fantastic. It's what's best for business. Now, AEW moving forward. Oh, by the way, a new merch, new shirt. Check it out. This will be the first AEW shirt that I purchase. I love the shirt. It's awesome. So I can't wait to get a CM Punk shirt. Ice cream bars. He treated everybody in the United Center to an ice cream bar, and the 4 announcers they have on Rampage all held up a ice cream bar, and it was right to have Jim Ross there. This was magnified by the fact that Jim Ross's voice was behind this return. Excalibur did just fine, but CM Punk needed Jim Ross's voice. It made it that much of a bigger moment with good old JR calling it a Jordan-esque moment in the United Center. The first dance was an appropriate name for this AEW Rampage. So what are we going to see CM Punk moving forward? Well, just in a week or so, we're going to see him against Darby Allin, which should be an amazing match. He put over all the talent in the back and ultimately said, "They're there. Why ain't I?" And so now CM Punk is all elite. Daniel Bryan coming in, rumored to be coming in on the 22nd of September, debuting in New York. Will absolutely blow the roof off the place, and hopefully in about 60 to 70 days, All Elite Wrestling will get the Cult of Wyndham. And maybe, just maybe, we'll have Wyndham Rotunda, who most people know as Bray Wyatt, in All Elite Wrestling. By the end of 2021, AEW could have 3 of the most creative, best in the world superstars on their roster. Not to mention the fact they already got Kenny Omega and FTR and Chris Jericho and MJF and Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. All these great talents who already put on phenomenal shows in AEW, and joined by 2 of the best to ever lace up a pair of boots, CM Punk and Daniel Bryan, and the potential of the free agents that are out there. And I didn't even mention the fact they've already gotten Malachi Black. AEW, I did not think would be able to be legitimate competition to WWE. I chalked up the Wednesday Night Wars with NXT to the fact that you can't watch AEW unless you watch it on TNT live, but you can watch NXT all over the place anytime you want. So I chalked up the ratings loss to AEW, the fact that more people, I would watch AEW on live and then watch NXT later. So I didn't think the Wednesday Night Wars were an actual legit thing, and I still don't. I still believe that's the reason that AEW won. However, moving forward, AEW is the wrestling program to watch. Wednesday night, Punk said he's going to be at Dynamite. He's going to talk more on Dynamite, and it's going to be a much-watched show. SummerSlam and WWE are going to continue to roll. It's not going to affect them because there's just a good amount of professional wrestling out there. However, 2021, looking back on it, is going to be the year of AEW. And AEW is now your official wrestling show. WWE is sports entertainment and will remain sports entertainment. But AEW is the place to go if you want to see professional wrestling. Let me know what you think. Leave comments if you're listening to this on the podcast. Leave some comments. Subscribe to the podcast. If you're watching it here on YouTube with me, thank you so much. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments below. Where do you think this all goes from here? CM Punk is back in professional wrestling. Daniel Bryan is going to be in AEW. Christian Cage is in AEW. Malachi Black is in All Elite. We got a great revolution that just started last night with CM Punk's introduction. A new era of professional wrestling is upon us, and no better time to subscribe to the Powerbomb Nation and hang out with me when you can. Let's build the community, and professional wrestling's back, baby. That's all I can say.